Full out, Sunday ass worship. Good to go? Let's clap it up. Yabashim Shabbat Thumb, Yahweh Shema Alathan Bashim Yahshai. Like coming in live from DC. Scripture breakdown class, I.S.U.P.K, home of the truth, and no one else under Commanding General YAHANNA, 13 Shield Commanding General YAHANNA. Right? If you ain't hear his name mentioned with the truth, then it's not the truth. You get me? And anybody disagree, you know my motto. If you was in class a couple of weeks ago. Salakia. Hey, guy, I know there's an extra pen here if you need it, all right? I might need to use this one. Okay, so of course, any questions anybody have, let's get them. Tonight we're gonna go into just a couple of things with doctrine, your foundation, and for sure, one of the most evilest songs I've ever heard is that Beyonce Break My Soul. Everybody, talking about her with her new album and this, that, the other. But Good Night, Irene. Like that is brother, that's if the Tower of Babel had a national anthem, I think that would be it. I think that shit would be it. Don't nobody play the song because I ain't trying to get no copyright infringement or lose my channel for some, long-haired woman who we never see her real hair. She pays the chinks more than a little bit. All right, but it's an absolute evil song, but people love it for one reason and one reason alone. It's because it's so Christian. It's gospel. It's absolute gospel in its beat, in its structure, in its nature. And it what it does is it's rebellion. It's a spirit of rebellion. And we're gonna go into it, during the class, all right? So any questions? Well, y'all know the Bible, y'all good to go. Y'all straight. Let me know, please.
Yeah, in Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, this one word is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Okay.
I'll read it first.
Please.
Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Okay.
The word is throwing me off, or is replenished. Like if there were already people on the planet before Adam and Eve. So if Adam and Eve, if God is telling them to, how can you replenish something that was already there?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Good question, for sure. Okay, so to replenish, think, okay, what would replenish? What does replenish mean? Don't think breaking it down here. Just give me replenish.
To reinvigorate, to revive.
Okay, but okay, to revive. No, to revive is to revive. To revive when the paramedics pick you up and you pass the hell out, or for the mollies, or what's the new thing, the fentanyl. You frothing over the fentanyl, and they revive you, right? Are they replenishing you? So they're reviving you. They're what? They're bringing you back to life. That's reviving, or okay. They're bringing you back to how you were before in that context. To replenish something is a little bit different. It's kind of the same, it's a little bit different.
But I would say something like along the lines of bringing the numbers back up to where it was.
You could bring the numbers back up to where it was. So meaning what? The numbers was up first, then for some reason it dropped. And you are replenishing it, meaning you bringing it back to how it was before. So now, and that could happen. You could say replenish with gas. You use the car, the tank on quarter tank. You lend your homie the car, say, man, you got to replenish that gas. That means go and fill it back up from what was used. money. You replenish your bank account when, you know, one of them banks send you an alert about a low balance. So, you know, you get the overdraft charge. You had to replenish your account. So now, if this is talking about something that was there and then it's not there anymore in the context, read the scripture one more time.
Okay. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea.
Right? God gave them. Read that last part. Read the part again with the replenish.
Okay. Be fruitful and multiply.
Be fruitful and multiply. So what is he telling them to do there?
Populate.
To have sex and make babies, right? To have sex, a man and a woman having sex and making children, to populate. But populating, he said, be fruitful and multiply, right? So now multiplying meaning they're making numbers. They're making men and women having sex and making more, what?
More babies.
More men and women. That's why they're multiplying. And then he said what? After be fruitful and multiply?
And replenish the earth.
And replenish the earth. So this is replenishing, meaning there's people there already. And then something is going to happen. And then what's going to happen?
The earth.
Think simple. Think real simple. There's people, like you was right. There's people there already. So
those people are going to be gone.
How?
They're going to die.
How?
Through the flood.
Not so far down. You're thinking still big. Think simple. How do people die?
Old age, violence.
Because that's life.
Constant.
The life cycle is a baby is born, grows older, dies, and then comes right back. That's replenishing the earth. That's how reincarnation is possible. Even the white man, he's such an idiot. He does not teach reincarnation. Our oppressor, he does not teach reincarnation. The Christian church does not teach reincarnation, yet still they call it a life cycle. How could it be a cycle if there's no reincarnation? You understand? If there's no reincarnation, that means the baby born, a toddler, child, adolescent, or pre-adolescent, adolescent, young adult, full-grown adult, geriatric, sick, dead. Then that's it. There's no life cycle. There's no redoing it again. But they call it a life cycle, and then they teach you that there's no reincarnation, which is just absolutely stupid. You get the point? When the Lord said, replenish the earth, replenish, redo it, meaning to redo something means it was already done. So I'm just doing this over. There's people here before, they're going to die. I'm going to do it again. Bring more people back and people back and people back. It's a life cycle. That's the life cycle right there. Replenish the earth is life cycle. Salaki, go ahead.
I got a precept if I may.
Uh-huh.
The book of Psalm, chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face. They are troubled. Thou takest away their breath. They die and return to their dust. Verse 30. Thou sendest forth thy spirit. That they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
Exactly. You could use that. That's a reincarnation scripture that goes straight here with this replenish. Like reincarnation is right there in Genesis 1. That's Genesis 1 or 3? That's Genesis chapter 1. Reincarnation is right there. That's your life cycle. And you appear that with any, that's the probably perfect reincarnation scripture to pair with this to break down replenish. Because replenishing wouldn't, just like if there's no water in the house, you go get more water and you put it back. Is it new water? It's the same water that you done pissed in and pissed out and washed, and the water goes down the drain and they do whatever with it and it evaporates into the air. Some of them places, they just recycle the water and send it back. But your typical water cycle, if it is we you're pulling water from a well or from a river or from the ocean. It's really the water goes right back into the ocean, it evaporates into the clouds. The Lord does whatever he does with it up there. And then you have what's condensation, that's what they call it, when it starts to fall and you get rain and precipitate. It's the whole cycle. Life is the same way, and that's what he means. Replenish the earth. Be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. You have to, refill the earth. You have to do it because one generation come. Give me that one too. One generation comes, another generation goes, but the earth abideth forever. Let me see if I can help you. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 4. One generation passeth away.
Right? One generation passeth away. That happens. You have your parents' generation, my parents' generation. This is not the generation now. Rhyme today. Rhyme puts on the internet today. Hey, there's nothing new, man. Everything is recycled. I'm seeing the same thing over again. That's like, brother, that just means you're getting older. That ain't a revelation. You know what I mean? The generation that he thought was young is now an older generation. Now this generation is passing by. And for him, he's watching the whole thing. He can't believe that he's seeing the same thing he saw before. And that's just life. One generation passeth away because that's how life is. The parents' generation, at one time, they were young and they were groovy and they were the hip crowd. They were the cool dudes. And then your parents started complaining about hip hop. Right. You understand? This? What's that hip hop? What is that nonsense? What is they talking about? Look how they're dressing. Look what they're talking about. And then now, that young generation who was into that early hip hop is now complaining about the mumble rap when all it just means is, nigga, you're getting old. That's all. Just take your meds and shut your mouth. You're old. That's just how life is. You're going to age out. You're going to, what you used to. Your body has rhythm. You know what I mean? There's certain rhythms your body used to. You can't get with the ounce music. You know what I mean? You can't do none of that shit. You can't get with the ounce music. You need some bass. You need to hear some Method Man. The generation before would have need to hear some, the long 13-minute intro with the instrumental before the nigga even start singing. Yeah, I mean, they hear the song, them old people in the damn cooker. Oh, that's my song. And you're like, well, what song? And then about, 15 minutes later, the intro's still going. But that was their generation. You get the point? And that's what it is. One generation passeth. Right, pick it up for him, Bukwash.
One generation.
What's up, little man? You all good? They're looking like they want to take over the class. Right. Read one more time, man.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh.
Mm-hmm.
But the earth abideth forever.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh. Meaning what? That older generation, they're going to pass away. You understand? Or I don't want to say just the older generation. If Christ ain't back, even when Christ's back, this generation is going to pass. Another generation is going to come. You get the point? There's a generation. A generation means what? A group of contemporaries. You ever hear the word contemporary? No sweat. Look it up. Just look up contemporary. All right, contemporary gonna give you the full scope of the whole thing. Somebody's phone is on the edge of the chair. Yeah, grab it thing so it don't fall. All right. Let's look up contemporary. All right.
Contemporary, marked by characteristics of the present period.
Right, marked by characteristics of the present period, meaning Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. And who else was from that era? Charles Barkley. They could be called contemporaries. You get the point? Shaq and LeBron is not contemporaries. Even though they played at the same time, they're not, you can't consider them contemporaries because Shaq was past his prime when young LeBron was in. You get the point? It's like that. It's Iverson and Kobe closer then. You get the point? Kobe and Michael Jordan, they're not contemporaries. You get the point? Like marked by the present time, like those who played around the same time, those who came in around the same time, those who grew up together. I'm thinking that was another way brothers and sisters describe it. Your class reunion, your high school reunion, or whatever you go to, right? All of y'all coming back in there at 40-something years old. You spent the last 3 months in the gym or trying to detox so you look good to impress a ton of people you don't like. They're your contemporaries. You coming back in, you walking in the same halls with the same bully, with the same geek, with the same sports jock, with the same hoe, with the same this one, with the same that one. And everybody is there, even though they're older and they have kids and they're paying a mortgage. But really, they're back in high school again because they're contemporaries. You get the point? So that generation that's going past is the contemporary. You get the point? Read on way here.
That was the end of the verse. From the top.
Please.
Ecclesiastes 1 and 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Right. So Pagaibo, so one gonna pass, one gonna be here, and that's what they're into, and then the generation passes. You get the point? That generation is gone. Then the next generation steps into the play. You get the point? And they're gonna reach that stage where now they're gonna be next to go. You get the point? If you have parents or grandparents, you would hear them talk about how their friends would die. And usually the last ones be the most depressed because they done been to enough funerals because all their friends just dying. That generation is past. You get the point? So now to counteract that, the Lord said, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. Like reproduce. Bring them right back. They died, they're gone. That generation is the generation that was before. They're older. But guess what? Now you have young babies. You're holding that came from a time before you. Go ahead.
So you're saying I need to get to work?
I'm not saying that. I think that's a personal decision. You ain't gonna come and have me in council say, he told me go make baby. It's a lock here. You get the point? But that's it. That's basically what it is, which is why against the children of Israel, abortion is so it's made to be so enticing to us. It's made to be, so appetizing. That's the best way to put it. Like to call it abortion, to call it Planned Parenthood, to call it reproductive health, is to entice you into going against replenishing the earth. You get the point? It's enticing. It's a seductive language where you're not calling it what it is. So now you feel way more comfortable doing whatever it is. You get the point? It's put against us so much because the Lord told us to go and replenish the earth. This is damn near like a duty. You get the point? It's damn near like, you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to go ahead and bring forth children. The Lord don't want us like our oppressors where, they do statistics and have the perfect family must have 1.5 children. Or 2-point-something children. And what the hell is point-something of a child? Go ahead.
Yeah, so please help.
Come on.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 7, verse 7. For I would that all men were even as myself, as I myself. But every man hath his proper gift of God. One after this manner, and another after that. Paul.
Okay, break it down. How you mean?
What Paul was talking about, I would, it's probably better if you don't have a wife. You can have a wife, but if you don't, some men don't. You don't have to, and that's a gift of God. That's a gift from God because all men can't do that.
Okay. How you related to this one though with replenishing?
No, I was just saying what he was talking about. He's talking about how people get to work.
Oh, because you already have a boy and all that. He already have a son and all that. He just want more. He just want more of him. That's all. He want more. He already started the chain rolling. Yeah, I mean, he want more. Okay, this is no that precept is not good for this. That precept is more so for what Paul was saying as he was building the schools. As he was building the schools and he was observing, which y'all would see and y'all would go through, where young brother or young sister come in the school, their focus is the work of the Lord. Their focus is the high holy days. Their focus is camps. Their focus is, taking ground. And then one day she come in with a little bit more weight on her in the right places. Yeah, forgot about no. He's like, yeah, boy. One day she come in there looking at you. Don't remember that Shalom have a little bit more bounce in it than before. You don't remember that, and then you start noticing her, and then she start noticing you, and then all of a sudden, your brother, you ready to go to camp? I'm unclean, so Salakia. You get the point? Says, what's going on with the food for the high holiday? Oh, snap, Salakia. So and so I had to do this for my husband. And Paul is noticing that as they come together, they're going to start to have cares for each other more than the work. And that's not a sin. That's what he was trying to bring forward. That it's not a sin. That's how life is. And what does he have to do? If it is that he might be losing manpower for camp or losing help with his sisters because of the marriages and stuff, what does he now have to do? If he was in class from the beginning, what does he now have to go do? He now has to replenish. That's all. He just had to go and find more sisters and more brothers. Can you stop people from marrying? Hell no. Be fruitful and multiply and replenish. But as that happens, as that generation passes and matures, you're going to need youth to come in and pick up for the work to carry on. You get the point? So what he was saying in that particular one there is sometimes it's good to not marry, because now you could find yourself in an unbalanced situation because of the euphoria of quote unquote love, or what you think love is. You get the point? You could be so caught, you just caught up in a whole world when like you floating on air, like, whatever, and shit ain't getting done. You get the point? So he's saying it's better, but not everybody has that gift to just continue without wanting to. You get the point? And to continue without wanting to is extremely difficult, because you're gonna have to continue without wanting, and it's hard to understand. It's like, and does anybody in here not drink at all? Okay. You're almost to that point. Okay, okay. Nobody in here smokes. Now, somebody in the world, they can't eat lunch and not have a cigarette after. They can't get in an argument. They can't watch a sports game that their favorite team losing. They had to light up. You don't feel like smoking at all. You don't even, damn, I need to go. Man, if I had one now, I would light up. That feeling is foreign from you. You get the point? Or if it's not foreign yet, it's going to get foreign. To them, that's not foreign. They sit there and they want to light up. Now, take that same scenario and put it with marrying. And some people, it's just like, I ain't even thinking about nothing. I don't care. Yeah, whatever. I just do some push-ups, start cleaning the house. I ain't even thinking about getting some tail. And then there's somebody else who is Salaki said, yeah, this is too much. I can't understand it. Or sister, Salakia, blah, 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 blah. It's too much. They need to marry. So that's why he said, nevertheless, let them marry. But then there's some people who is, the marriage is not like they scorn it or anything. It's not that pressing for them. It's not a pressing thing for them. And because of that, their energy could be totally pushed into the work of the Lord. There's no distraction. There's no extra. There's no nothing. There's nothing that keeping them, not focused from the task that's at hand. You get the point? So that's what that scripture is talking about. That's different to the replenish part. You get the point? If a brother wants to marry, wants to have children, he may not have a rib right now, that does not apply to him because he wants to marry. You get the point? He wants, he in the morning, he waking up, he's strong as shit because he ain't married yet. He gonna go get some ribs. You get the point? It's different. That one is not the same. All right. Pugad, you understand?
Yeah, I understand. So go on.
Okay. Anything else?
So there's a question online.
Mm-hmm.
Question from Trooper Coral Lacombe from Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Says, Shalom, Yahweh. Can I get a breakdown of 1 Corinthians 11 and 14?
Okay.
It's 1 Corinthians 11 and 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, is it a shame unto him?
Okay, no sweat. Let's read up. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Let's read up. Where we going? Where he at? 14? 11? Salaki.
That's like if I made one thing that I realized, because I had a couple people that actually Bible books that work that put a scripture. They used to say that you can't get the truth because you have long hair, but they don't understand that was a question when you read that scripture.
Well, that's what we're gonna get into. You get the point? And they not in the truth telling you can't be in the truth. That's the bigger issue. Like whoever they are, they're not in here. So they definitely, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. This is what we're gonna go into today with the power of the tongue, the shit that's said, doctrine, stuff like that. Where we at again?
1 Corinthians 11 and 14.
To what? 11 and 40. I think you need to skip up to verse 11.
Verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is a man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord. Verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of God. 13. Judge in yourselves. Is it comely that a woman?
Comely.
Is it comely?
What verse you at now?
13.
Okay, hold on. Okay, no, skip up to verse 4.
This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head. Verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
Okay, so what's that saying? Come
on. Like what we do now, like when you see us when we outside teaching and we have the covers on our head, we have the hole in it. So that most high we don't have our head covered.
Right.
For the sisters when they prophesy.
Why you letting the most high know that you don't have your head covered?
Remember the center of our head is the crown, if I'm correct.
That's true. But why are you doing that? Why do you expose the crown of your head?
I'm throwing off because I'm thinking about the sisters because I know you can't shame yourself with the sisters, but that's why they cover their head. But for the males, it's like you've been direct with the Most High.
Not that part. Not that part. Something else. Come on.
Because the Most High is our cover.
The Most High is our head, right? He's our head, and you would dishonor your head if you keep your head covered. You get the point? So now in all our headpieces, whether it's a mitri like what I'm wearing, which is in the scriptures, it's called a tire. So you imagine you take a tire and you put it on your head, the crown will be exposed. Or the headpieces like what the brothers wear, the war scarves or the headbands. The top of your head is open. You get the point? This is open because your head is the Most High. He's not there. You can't look and see him. Your head is uncovered. For a woman, her head is who? You. She had to cover her head. She can walk in the room and see you. She has to humble herself. You get the point? Just think like a lion. A lion has a mane. A lioness does not have a mane. You get the point? Like his own is out. Her own is not. You understand what I'm saying? Her own is this, that it ain't there, but it's like showing that's covered. It's covering that glory. You understand what I'm saying? Her glory is her hair. That thing had to be covered because her man he's around. He's around, which is why you can tell a woman who is unkept. Why? Because you could see everything. You could see everything. Not so much that her hair is uncovered, because it's not saying that a woman can't walk around with her head uncovered, but it's because she doesn't have that humble spirit, that spirit of humility. You could see everything, not just her hair. You could see everything. You get the point? It's a certain spirit that the Lord is putting on a man and putting on a woman. You get the point? Where we at? Right? Read verse 5 again.
Come, verse 5. But every woman that prayeth or prophesies with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all as if she were shaven. That is all as if it's the same as if she were shaven. Now, if she was shaven, what is it? If she was shaven, what is that considered? It's a shame. It's a shame. That's why Jada Pinkett got mad at Chris Rock, because you're bald-headed broad, right? It's the same as if she was shaven. It's a shameful thing to be a shameful broad. That's the spirit of it. It's not saying that if her head isn't covered, she's ashamed, because of course there's times when a woman's head will be uncovered. You get the point? When, of course, praying or prophesying, you're in class, you're hearing a speaking, you're there to learn, you're there to receive, you have to cover your head. You get the point? But in the spirit of it, it's a shameless woman. A woman who's she got no shame. It's the same as a woman who shave her head bald. You know, with a shaven head, it's to embarrass her. What's the proof of that? That the shaving of the head is to embarrass the woman. I want the proof.
I was going to say Isaiah 3, because the Lord had cursed certain sisters with the shame. Okay,
well that's okay. He made them bald, the hair can't grow, not shaven. You see, that's what it says here, right? It was even all as one, as if she was shaven. Imagine you take a sister and sit her down and shave her head. How is she going to take it? She's going to lose it. It's going to be, and then afterwards, was she going to go out and let everybody see her bald head like Doja Cat? Or she's going to do what? She going to get a hat. She going to tie it up. She going to get a weave. She going to do something to cover it until that joker grow. Go ahead.
Sorry, is it the law of the concubine?
That's it. That's it. The law of the concubine. Pull it for me if you don't know what I'm talking about, all right? Just so for anybody who may be confused. What is a concubine? Go ahead.
So a concubine is when Israel goes to war with itself, and the men are killed off, and the widows that are left in the city doesn't have any protection. So the conquering would then take the woman as a concubine or wife.
So a concubine is what?
A woman whose husband was conquered.
No, I ain't gonna give you that one.
A spoiled war.
That's okay. I'll take that.
It's an Israelite woman who's on a less class than your wife.
I wouldn't even say less class.
Concubine is a woman whose Israelite husband died during war.
No, because it doesn't have to be that she was married before. It doesn't have to be like that.
Israelite woman who has no covenant. What is?
It's a wife you get from war versus
a wife you get
from
heritage, from the father.
From her father. That's what a concubine is. This is a wife. I had to kill her father. This is a wife. I had to go sit down and negotiate a price with her father. Now, when you go back home to your land, you're going to have more than one wife. You have to shave the head of the one who you got in war and cut her nails down. Why?
Because she's filthy from the war.
No. No. God damn. Shit. Good night. You don't kill her father, you're gonna call her filthy too. Shit.
It's a humble that one.
Not okay. Yes, but okay. This is more so to signify that this woman is not the woman I negotiated and paid for. It's different. This one here I got from war, and everybody gonna know it because she gonna be walking around with that bald head. She not gonna be as flashy because them long nails is gone. The things that would make a sister, you get the point? And she flashy and she just marries. Now you're going to marry her. You're going to have to, not so much to humble her, but you're going to bring it down a tier so everybody know this is the one I got from the negotiation, from, I paid for. This is the other one I had to kill for, right? Now her hair is not going to stay bald. It's just in the beginning, you have to shave it off. You got to cut her hair. And okay, this is to somebody listening now, it sounds brutal, but this is not that's not the normal reaction to our culture. Right. She knows that if this happened, if her not necessarily tribe, if her area where she lives, her city gets overrun, she knows the Lord is against her city. You get the point? Because right here in Deuteronomy, before they was giving you what happens if you find a dead body somewhere in the field, and they was running down the whole protocol of how to find the murderer. And if the murderer is found in this, they check the closest city to the body and then go further out. And they figure out where the murderer is. Now, after they jump to the law, the concubine, why? Because where that murderer is, if them leaders don't give him up, everybody else have to attack that city. Everybody else had to wage war with that city. Why? Who knows why?
So, like I said, you said if the leaders don't show up,
if they don't give him up.
Oh God, because you are supporting what he did
to put the evil away from among you.
Right.
So now, when we come through on that city, it's not just to kill him; it's to kill you because you was feeding him. Right. It's to kill you because you didn't open your mouth. It's to burn this city down so all the other cities know that this shit cannot go on in Israel. Now, if as you going through and you fight in the war, and of course, because the city at this point will fight back, they ain't gonna just say, yeah, we wicked. No, I ain't had nothing to do with that. You should have said something. You should have opened your mouth and said something. Like our laws raise the moral standard, the moral responsibility of Israel. It raises it. You can't just know something going on and ain't say nothing. That's why the Christian church is how it is. Right. Nobody don't say nothing about nothing. So now as you going through and there's a war and they're fighting, she might go hide. She might go cover herself with hay under the damn donkeys. She might jump in the well. And now you kill everybody. You lean over to go and drink. She come up for air. You see that thing. You be like, come on, sis. Come on. Come on. You pull her out. She cussing you, whatever. Okay, don't kill everybody. Or she's vexed because she had to take that L because she grew in that city. What's she going to do now? She better roll with her, wherever. And as now they're bringing all the survivors back to this other city, usually they're going to probably go into slavery. And not the slavery like our oppressor, they would go into think like Job Corps or ROTC. Think like that, where it ain't nobody in beating you and whipping you and hanging you. Right. But you got to be up in the morning to go, clean this. You know what I mean? You're gonna work it off until you could, find your way back into society. You get the point? You're gonna be an employee to somebody or some sister, and now you're bringing them back, and you're looking at her walking in that damn caravan. You'll be like, boy, it's a shame that city had a parent. The Lord works in mysterious ways. And you give her 40 days to mourn her father. And you might bring her some, fresh venison or some wine or something, whatever you brothers do to, entice her. And listen, you ready to go marry this girl, you're going to have to cut her hair. And you're going to have to trim her nails. And if she's smart, she'll do it so she could survive. So she could live later on. This is, that's a small situation. This is just so that this woman here, I didn't pay for her to kill for her. This other one here, or these other ones here, I paid their father. You get the point? Go ahead.
I have that in Deuteronomy.
Please, sir.
It's Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy God hath delivered them into thine hands, and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
Right, and this is Deuteronomy 21 and 1?
21, and this started at 10. It's 11, right?
21 and 10. Okay. So when you read further up, it gives you the whole protocol for a murder case. All right. So now to go into 10 when you go to war against the enemies. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And seest among the captives a beautiful woman, and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife. Then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails. Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity.
Salaki, give me one of you brothers who good with the Hebrew. Give me the enemy in verse 10. 21 and 10. Just give me the word enemy. Was the Hebrew word, and what does it mean? Or enemies. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 13. And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
Right, she shall put the raiment of captivity from off of her or on her? From
off her.
Right, so meaning what she was wearing when she was taken, she had to take that off. So she's not gonna come in there all fly and shit. She's conquered now. She had to, put on something else. You get the point? Go ahead.
And she shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
Right? She got a full month to, mourn the loss of her parents. That's a definite tragic loss, especially in that type of way. That type of way where he's like, well, we ain't got shit to do with it. You could be living northwest. The shit happened down southeast on the border of Maryland. You're going to die, nigga. Right. And you ain't got nothing to do with whatever happened up there. You probably didn't even know. But this is what happened. This is why you have to have good leaders. This is why you have to press the righteousness of the Lord, or else that's what Daniel did in the Apocrypha of the History of Susanna. He opened his mouth and said something. You get the point? It's rough, so she's gonna need time to adjust. She's gonna need time to accept it in her spirit. You give her a month. You get the point? And she's gonna have things there. Don't think, slavery like Esau, or the captive like Esau. She's gonna be able to, eat and drink and bathe herself, and she's gonna be able to do things. You get the point? And go ahead.
And after that, thou shalt go in unto her.
Right? And after that, that's when you are allowed to go to try to marry this girl, right? This does not say you're just going to go in there and rape the girl. That's not marriage. You get the point? That's when you have permission to go onto her. That's what it's saying. Right? But for some people who slow in the spirit, you have to spell the shit out, right? So that would be your concubine. And of course, does it say where you shave her head?
That was in verse 12, sir.
Right, so it says shave her head and pare her nails. It's to, it's going to be a shame. It's going to take it down a little more. It's not this is not a a glorious thing where you pay for her and you have a wedding party and people drinking and celebrating this union. This is something else. This was blood. You get the point? Now give me the enemies. You have it?
It's I.S.U.P.K.
Mm-hmm.
It is the active biblical usage, enemy, qual, personal National.
A national. What does that mean? A personal national. Personal or national?
I mean, someone that's within your nation.
Exactly.
Your family.
All right. So when idiots talk about your enemies is your oppressor, your oppressor is not personal to you.
Right.
Neither is he your national. You don't take shit personal. He does. That's why Eminem is the greatest rapper, right? Because it's just facts, right? The fact is he do it better than black people. It's not personal, right? So then he's not your enemy. You get the point? You understand what I'm saying? He's not your enemy. But when Boosie and NBA Youngboy beefing, well, that shit personal, because that's your brother. You get the point? The enemies here is not the oppressor, it's not the daughters of the oppressor. The enemies in this instance is if somebody from a nation, not a nation, city, from the 12 tribes of Israel that done fell on the wrong side of the law, and this is their judgment. And this activity is in our spirit today, because why? When one block kill the next block ride the next day and shoot up every goddamn thing. This is how we operate normally. So now let's go back to not saying it's right to go shoot up the block. I'm just saying that's how we would do things with justice. All right. Let's go back now to 1 Corinthians 11. So now it's the same as if she was shaven, because that's where it comes from. Like her not having humility. That's what the spirit of it is. A sister that's humble. She has a certain amount of humility. She doesn't mind covering her head. Some proud ass monster, you tell her cover her head, she gonna say, why? I don't need to do what the hell you tell me to do, and start a turkey neck and snap her fingers and clap and do all kind of dumb shit. And that should let you know what? Walk away.
Right.
Walk away. You got it. I'm gonna catch this Uber. Where you going? To find a cover. To find somebody who will cover their head. Right. You get the point? So it's more so for humility. All right. Give me verse 6.
1 Corinthians 11:6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
So now it's saying, if you don't want to cover yourself, let her be shorn. Let her hair be cut. Right. If she don't want to cover herself, she don't want to be humble, then be on Front Street then. Which is now where in the spirit you get the curses that brother was talking about in Isaiah. Right? In Isaiah, the Lord say, the daughters of Israel are haughty, so I'm going to smite the crown of their head with a scab. Right. So in that spirit, it's, to shame them. You get the point? Keep reading.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. So now
it's the argument of it. He's making the point. He said, now, if you don't want to cover your head, then come here, let me cut your hair off. A woman would be like, nah, you ain't cutting my hair off. So you don't want your hair to cut off then. Why you don't want to cut your hair? Man, I like my hair. I don't want to walk around looking like no nigga. Well, then you should cover your hair. Right. So I'll know you're not a nigga. Right. Because right now I can't tell. You get the point? Right now I can't tell. So if you don't want to walk around looking like, like Dennis Rodman, then put that scarf on and tie it in the back here and tuck it on so I could look and be like, oh nah, that's a sister, man. You see that head scarf with the little frills on the top? You know, there's tie the hair and let the little puff come out, or you see the little curls here or something, and you'll be like, she got good here. Shalom, sis, what's going on? She trying to make eye contact with you. You looking behind the air to see what's there. You're trying to see, like, you're watching the head wrap to see if it had any depth in that shit. You get the point? You're trying to investigate because she's so humble with the shit. She ain't letting on too much. That's what he was trying to bring forth. All right. So that's what he's saying. If she don't want to cover her head, then she should just be shaven and walk around like a nigga then. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 6. That's like verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of God.
You understand? A man, he don't have to cover his head because he is the image and the glory of the Most High. Right. Once again, take a lion and a lioness. You see him coming down with that big mane. Like, okay, he's the lion. Right. The lioness don't have it. You get the point? Just think like that. Go ahead.
But the woman is the glory of the man.
But she is your glory. She should be in your image. It should mean in what? You in the Most High's image. You in Christ's image. And it's coming all the way down. Meaning how you think is how above you thinks. How you dress is how above. What you eat is how it comes down. She should be following after your spirit. That's how. That's the relationship he's building here. It's going to take humility to do the thing. You get the point? You're going to have to recognize that you're going to have to bend your will to the Most High. You get the point? You're going to have to bend to him. She has to bend her will to yours. She has to be like, he liked this thing here. I had to go with this thing.